Now, then when you submit to a father, there is an issue of submission that is needed. And according to my understanding, he said something again. To what extent? It's like till where, or maybe till when, or even where. That's what.
Should a spiritual father interfere with your ministry?
There is interference. I don't know the kind of interference. Can a mentor at any point really interfere? Can a spiritual father interfere with anything that you're doing that is spiritual in nature? Can a spiritual father, and you are his spiritual son, and then he interferes with your spiritual practice, ministry? What sort of interference is that? Am I saying there can't be any interference? There could be. He should have told us the kind of interference, and then I would have told him that's not interference. Okay. Had he told me the interference, I would have actually helped him. But anyway, there could be other ways that a mentor can interfere, especially if he doesn't also understand certain lines, and also if even the lines are not properly drawn. Because people only submit to a certain extent. Not all the way every time. So if you submit to a man, you must have declared to the man how far and how deep you would want that relationship to go. If there was no time that you really sat down and you discussed about the extents of that relationship, then there's nothing called encroachment or trespass, because the boundaries are not well defined. You must have told your mentor, you can only mentor me to this extent. Okay, so if you've never opened up to your mentor, there can't be any interference. You might have him walk straight into your bedroom because the boundaries are not clearly defined. Joseph was given that opportunity by Potiphar to oversee everything he had. But he said to Potiphar's wife, except you. Except you. My master has given me charge over everything else apart from you. So the boundaries were
clearly defined.
And he knew about that. So there must have been a time when Potiphar took this young boy and said, be careful, young man. Whatever you do in this house, touch everything else, but not my wife. There must have been a time. So he's respecting those boundaries. He's looking after everything else, save for Potiphar's wife. Interference. If I'm to visit your ministry, and I'm coming as a mentor, as a coach, there is need for sons to be taught, like you highlighted, both of you. You need to be taught on how to become sons and good sons and mature sons. And then you are developed into becoming fathers. Okay?
Yes, sir.
when you get to the point where you're now a father, then you must understand that you must derive lessons from sonship. And those lessons help you become a good father. You must have been a son.
Wow.
For you to understand how to deal with your son. If you start by being a father, you may make a lot of mistakes that will be deemed interference by your sons. So you must have gone through the process of eventually becoming a father, having passed through the school of sonship.
Wow.
Have you ever been a son? Do you know what it takes to be a son? Have you ever received instruction and followed through an instruction? Before you make it hard on your sons, have you ever been a son? Now, if you've been a son, you know what needs to be done to a son. You only take it from what you needed your father to do for you. Wow. That's when you begin to realize that, oh, okay. So if I'm to come to your ministry, because he has got a ministry, this person asking the question.
Yes, Father.
If I'm to come to your ministry as a mentor, this is what I do. I have first to really study my son. How I've helped him develop. What my son has finally become. Now it is a wrong picture when you get into my car and you find my biological father driving me. And I'm sitting there and he's the one driving. It's not a good sight.
No, it's not wrong.
Is it?
No, it's not a good sight.
It's not. It means I'm not a good driver, if that's the case. I haven't been acknowledged as yet by my father as a safe driver. But the day he believes that I'm now a good driver, he must then sit at the passenger seat. And then I'm the one driving and allow him to rest and to enjoy his sleep.
Yes,
because he has done his part.
yes,
So as a mentor, I think his father should have looked at him and seen the ability in him to run the ministry without him interfering. But if he keeps on appearing and resurfacing and maybe trying to help you here and trying to help you over there, he might have discovered as a father that you still have some inabilities. You are not well equipped to look after yourself and even to be driving that ministry by yourself. But if I have a mature son, and then I'm coming to you to help you, I must understand my son. That is what I do personally, even not with just sons, no, with every other man of God. That is my style. When I'm invited by a man of God, honestly, you have to hear this. Never go to another man of God's church before you fully understand his ministry, his focus, his area, his strength. He has got several advantages. I cannot, like you have seen it, you can't be a wrestler, you can't be a boxer, and you just jump into the ring before you watch other fights.
It's taking place, yeah.
Exactly. You have to study the man that you are going to
fight.
to be fighting against. Because if I'm coming to your ministry, I should have known that maybe faith is your greatest area. Maybe healing is your greatest area.
Wow.
Maybe leadership is your greatest area. Maybe administration is your greatest area. Maybe prophecy, the prophetic, is your greatest area. Before I bring my gift, if you invite me, honestly, this is what I do. You have to preach to me first. Why me? What is it that I carry that you would want your people to benefit from? Tell me, if you can't convince me, what have you seen in me that you want your people to have? Okay? Mm-hmm. Some, they would say, I would just want you to come and teach on submission. And then I'll start with the men of God. Are you submissive enough?
Wow.
Is it fair for people to come and submit under you? Is it a seed that you have sown for you then to harvest that seed? That is why I'm no longer easy to invite these days, because I start with the man of God himself. It is very important. But if he wants me to come and minister, I would love to know the reason why he is inviting me. I want to know, why is he inviting me? Is he inviting me to sing? Is he inviting me to teach? And on what subject?
Wow.
Is it about soul winning? Is it a crusade? Because I don't want to then get into his area where he is even better than me. And I'm wasting his time, and I'm wasting his people. And I'm also wasting my time. There are certain people that when they begin to touch on a topic, it becomes theirs. They are masters in those areas. And you don't dare touch those areas, because every verse that you are trying to make reference to, it has been dealt with thoroughly. And you're in trouble. You have to be... He has done his work to straighten up certain scriptures and dealt with heresies, and then when you come without investigating the man, you are delving into areas that every single person in that church knows this is wrong. And you are in trouble. So study your mentor, and let your mentor also study you.
Wow.
You may think that you are helping your protege, you are helping your mentee, and yet sometimes maybe you're actually destroying him. You're destroying him. Interference. Saying, my father is interfering with my work. How is he interfering? How is he interfering? I really would want, if I have a son, then my son must understand that. You see, I told you this, that one day when Joseph brought his two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, before his father Jacob, he asked that Jacob blesses his sons. Is that true?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And what Jacob did was to cross his hands over those two boys. And the Bible says, and Jacob blessed Joseph. You see, Joseph had asked his father to bless his sons. And when his father was blessing his grandchildren, he did not bless his grandchildren. He blessed
his
Joseph, his son.
Wow. Wow.
That is the protocol of the blessing.
Wow.
That's how oil flows. He knew that the only way I can bless a grandson is by blessing my son. Mm-hmm. And the blessing comes from my son to his son.
Wow.
So if you invite me to your ministry and you are my son, your people are not my people. Your children are not my children.
Wow.
I can only bless them by blessing you. Mm. And Jacob blessed Joseph. Wow. So maybe that's what he's calling interference. I'm just trying to find where this thing is coming from. Mm. So your son is not my son.
Wow.
You are my son, but your son is not my son. Your daughter is not my daughter. Mm. If I want to rebuke him, your son, I rebuke you. If I want to bless him, your son, I bless you. Wow. So what I do, if I really want your son to become the best version of himself, I have to nurture you, look after you, bless you so much that you can then bless my grandson. So, as long as I have access to you, I have arrived.
Mm. Wow. Mm. Mm.
Okay?
Yes, Father.
So you can have like, I have arrived.
As long as I have access to you.
Access to you.
I have arrived.
I have arrived as a father. I may not need to have access to your ministry because you are my ministry. Mm. Every sermon, every teaching, every doctrine that I have, as long as I can sit down with you for 3 hours, I'm coming from a conference. Mm. Mm. You are my son. Mm. I equip you and then I let you go. Mm. And you transfer what I've given to you to your children. Who knows? I don't know how his father is interfering with his ministry. I don't know. Maybe he's calling his members. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. But there must be lines drawn